Nomads World, Season 4, Episode 5. The secret begins. The village woke before sunrise, not because of danger, because there was too much to do. Construction had become part of everyday life. New hollows, new bridges, new storage rooms. The village no longer built because it had to survive. It built because it expected tomorrow. Porky stretched as he stepped onto the main walkway. Daniel was already waiting. "You're late." I was awake. "That's not the same thing." I was thinking. Daniel laughed. "You always say that when you oversleep." Porky smiled. "Worked, didn't it?" Daniel tossed him a work belt, and Porky caught it. "Come on." Cliff already has everyone working. By the time they reached the building site, Cliff had divided everyone into groups. Hunters, take down the dead limbs. Gatherers, we'll need fresh vines. Builders, you're with me. Porky stepped forward. "What are we building today?" Cliff looked at him for a moment. "You'll see." Across the village, Rain and Chip were repairing one of the older rope bridges. Rain tested the knots. Tighter. Chip pulled again. "How's that?" Rain bounced on the bridge. "Better." Chip smiled. "You always test my work." Rain looked at him. "You want people falling?" "No." "Then don't complain." Chip laughed. "I wasn't." "You were thinking about it." "I was." Meanwhile, Tim quietly approached Cliff. "You ready?" Cliff nodded. "I've already chosen the crew." Tim looked toward Porky. "Does he suspect anything?" Cliff smiled. "Not even a little." The two walked toward a section of the village marked on Tim's bark map. It rested along one of the newer branches, close enough to family, far enough to feel like its own home. Tim studied the location. "This is where they'll begin." Cliff nodded. "And nobody says whose it is." "Nobody." Later that morning, Cliff gathered several builders. "We're starting another hollow." Daniel picked up his tools. "So who's moving in?" Cliff smiled. "That decision's already been made." Daniel shrugged. "Works for me." Porky laughed. "Guess we're building another mystery house." Cliff nodded. "You could call it that." Daniel looked around. "Seems strange." Cliff answered without hesitation. "Sometimes it's wise to prepare before the need arrives." Everyone nodded. It made sense. Nobody asked another question. Work began immediately. Old bark was carefully removed. Support beams were fitted into the living wood. Fresh vines were woven through the frame. Porky worked harder than anyone. Daniel finally leaned over. "You know, you've carried more beams than anybody today." Porky shrugged. "I want this one done right." Daniel grinned. "You don't even know who it's for." Porky smiled. "Doesn't matter. If somebody's going to live here, they should have a good home." Tim overheard the conversation. Quietly, he looked away. During the afternoon, Susie arrived carrying water for the workers. Porky immediately stepped over. "I'll help." She smiled. "You've been helping all day. I can help more." Daniel rolled his eyes. "You're hopeless." "I know." Susie handed everyone cups. When she reached the unfinished hollow, she paused and looked inside. "This one's beautiful." Cliff smiled. "It will be." She turned back toward the village. "I wonder who gets lucky enough to live here." Cliff simply answered, "When the time is right, everyone will know." Satisfied, Susie smiled and walked away. Neither she nor Porky noticed Tim smiling. At near sunset, the day's work ended. The builders gathered their tools. Porky looked back toward the unfinished hollow. It already feels different. Daniel nodded. I was thinking the same thing. It feels. Porky searched for the words. Important. Daniel smiled. Funny. What? I don't know why, but I think you're right. And that evening, Tim and Cliff returned alone. The unfinished home stood quietly beneath the fading light. Tim rested his hand on one of the support beams. Porky carried this one. Cliff smiled. I know. He tied most of those vines. I know. For a long moment, neither spoke. Tim smiled. He's given everything he has to a home he doesn't even know is his. Cliff looked around the unfinished hollow. Seems fitting. The two stood together in silence. Children laughed somewhere beyond the branches. Lanterns slowly appeared throughout the village. One by one, the unfinished hollow remained quiet beneath the evening sky, waiting. If you're enjoying the journey, like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to RC Best, where stories and ideas come alive. Don't miss the next chapter. Every episode reveals another piece of the world.